Greetings everyone, and welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my weekly segment, Goth Tarot, in which I give a short reading for the collective in the Goth community, people who are dealing with shadow issues or emotional issues, philosophies, things that maybe render them a little bit different from the rest of us. So to do that, I do several card pulls from several decks. We're going to get started with our first card pull from the Crow's Magic Tarot to find out what our dark gift is. The dark gift is basically insights, wisdoms you feel, dark philosophies you've taken on. How do these life and death types of philosophies draw you to other philosophies or draw you to those you can share them with? How do we come to appreciate all of that? All right. And we have Temperance, Major Arcana 14. And down below it says Chemistry and Fusion. So for many of us in the goth, emo, shadow world, we're probably extremely patient. We're probably extremely temperate. We mostly have a very much a live and let live kind of attitude. And I would suggest this card means that this is our time now to go forth and share that and to promote ourselves, to share this gift of ours of how we can view things in a relative way and find where that balance point is or should be and how we can conduct ourselves from that. So that is your dark gift, is the ability to balance emotions, calmness with anger, things like that. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our next set of cards, which are from the Gothic Tarot. Let's turn it that way, there we go. And these represent, for this week, our dark struggles. The dark struggles, the challenges or limitations that would actually show us the way, help us to adjust to the darkness that we find within ourselves as well as others. The lessons that such obstacles and burdens or obsessions will teach us. All right. The Ace of Pentacles, and it's reversed. And the Tower, and it's upright. I think some of us are really struggling financially, materially. I think we find that the delays we are having in readjusting back to some sense of normalization, having full employment, that kind of thing. I think there are obstacles and lessons to learn clearly here. Some may be about the overreach, that maybe those of us who can't are really going to have to struggle. And we need to look for that bit of light, as dark as it may be, that shows us the way towards improvement. I think the Ace of Pentacles wants us to have that better lifestyle, do that improvement, regain our focus on material things that we need at this time. But the Tower, but it's reversed, so that's part of the struggle, is that there's a lot of delays or things that aren't quite matching up to pull you through. But in that is the lesson to learn, that maybe we have to adjust in ways we hadn't expected, that maybe we have to focus our material efforts in a different way. Think of different jobs we can do or different ways to apply our skills, find ways that we could actually do some of this in remote, not having to, working for ourselves basically. So that's what I have with that. Those are the struggles, and they may provide lessons if we can understand what these obstacles or limitations are actually trying to lead us. All right then, so now we're going to go on to the final 3 cards. And for that, we use the Night Sun Tarot. So the first card will represent our dark truth, the reality that we inhabit for this week, the insights we can gain from that feeling that may be oppressive or may just not be exactly what we want, how to turn it around. That's the dark truth. And so we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. It may be that we can't move any faster this week, no matter how many fires are lit under us, no matter how many times we're being forced to that. The Knight of Pentacles is saying there's a real turgidness, there's a real stagnation or inertia of some sort. There's really maybe a sense of trepidation, of not really wanting to push as hard as one could. Maybe one's finding that the journey itself is presenting the lessons in this reality that we have to understand, these truths that we have to take in. But more than that, I think it's saying that we're going to have to really slow down and really deal with a pace that we don't want, that our progress is really limited. That's the reality here. We're just sort of moving through quicksand at this point. So then, what is that dark sacrifice we might have to make? What sorrows will come to us, and how will we move from those to purify, make ourselves better, and see ourselves in a better light? And it's our old friend, the Three of Swords upright. And it looks like we might have to have a parting with something, that maybe the sacrifice we make is to let something that really hurts, that really we care about, be separated from that. That we're going through an immense heartbreak of some sort. It's pretty dramatic. I think it mostly involves breakups in relationships or changes, big changes in the status quo relationships. So it may very well be that the sacrifice is really having to move through that to realize that maybe it has been time to break up with certain people or situations, and that there's a lot of sorrow, but perhaps there would have been more sorrow if we had stayed. I don't know. So then finally, what is the dark redemption this week? The final realization, what we can do to learn from it and to move ahead from it. And it is a learning experience. It's the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is a messenger to us, I think, this week, saying what we have to do is move forward to some good news, that there is a direction we can follow. We have maybe been allowing ourselves to only look at the dark side. And of course, that goes hand in hand with the idea of being, you know, kind of a goth person, that you expect certain issues to be there and for you to not necessarily be understood. But I think this final card tells us that good news is coming, the news that we want to hear, whether it's the news of darkness or light, and we're moving towards that. And it looks to me like maybe it also talks about our ability to be more involved in the world, perhaps because we need to be at this point. It's not about secluding ourselves from a cruel world. It may be about trying to establish ourselves, our livelihoods, our sense of education, our family, all those things. The world still has to move on, and we have to figure out exactly where we are as Goths and work through our shadow side so that we can actually bring our message to the world, and the good message of understanding how to work through our issues. So this is Oberon for Goth Tarot, and thank you for watching. See you next time.